SJ. Welcome to Mvskoke Radio, your weekly source for tribal and community news, interesting guests and discussions, plus a local events calendar.
Hisje Lizgrecha Hochifgados, Mvskoke Radio Mabohijida. Welcome to Mvskoke Radio. Gary Fife is out for a little R&R this week. He will be back next week. This episode today we have our Mvskoke language department here to talk about what they're up to. And we will also have native chef Jason Champagne in to give us a little talk about another kind of love language in the Mvskoke culture, which is food. So we're just going to jump into it, and I'm going to let my guest introduce herself.
Hisje, my name is Jordan Squire. I am the project specialist with the Mvskoke language department. Real excited to be here. It's my first time being on the radio.
It's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So before we get into it, Jordan, there's familiar faces in the language department. How long have you been working for the language?
I've worked with language. It'll be 2 years in January.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So, and you, what made you decide to I'm going to go work for language? I really want to. What was your journey here?
Well, it was kind of crazy because I went to the College of Mvskoke Nation and I got my associates in Native American Studies, but I also did the certificate for the Mvskoke language, and so. I don't know, language has always been important to me because my mom, she's a fluent speaker, and I don't know, one day it kind of hit me that, it's just her. It's like after that, there's no one, I guess kind of no one else that can speak the language, and I thought, I need to do that because, if I ever have kids, they need to have like an identity, language, for me, that's one way people identify themselves, and I thought, I better learn it now or it's never going to happen. But I really do. I love where I work. I get along with everybody. I like seeing everyone, we do our language classes and I see, people that are just beginning, that they've never been around the language. And, it's really cool to see them pick it up and, they can say words now. And then from when we started, it's like they didn't know anything, and you could tell they were kind of nervous themselves, but it's like now with the language, it's like they can spit the words out now, and I don't know, I really like seeing that.
Yeah, I've been trying to pick it up here and there because I think the only thing that I had was a little bit of Head Start, a little bit of Creek Nation Head Start that showed me, my colors and how to count, and there was here and there, and I work on it as well. I think I had one phrase that Mvskoke Youth had posted that was supposed to mean I value you, and I was sitting there at home really trying to, because I was like, Amaja Gichitos, having to really break it apart and put it, and then I try to say it faster, and then I try to say it without thinking about it, and I've been kind of stumbling over it, but it's fun. It can be fun whenever you're exploring how something that really isn't for someone like me that didn't really, I grew up around it, and I've heard phrases and stuff. I've been told Vegas so many times in my life, and so it just does getting used to those sounds, those R's, the R's in our language, and I have Ernest Gouge's was it Totka Machusi? And I have that, and that's how I practice having those sounds, and I might kind of stumble through it, but you're talking about classes. If you want, let's go into what the Mvskoke language program is offering these days.
Okay. Well, we've been doing 6-week language courses, and these courses, when they first were brought about, they were designed for our Mvskoke Nation employees, because these classes, they take place on during the lunch breaks from 12 to 12:45. But lately, Mvskoke Media, they've been, because we do them via Zoom, and because we can record on there, they take the recordings and then they go and put it on YouTube. So, citizens, they can go on there and watch it. And, lately we've had citizens, they reach out to our department and they want to know if they can get in on these classes. So hopefully in the next 6-week course, we're able to provide, these classes to the public, because, I don't know, these classes are they're really, everyone's engaged in them. There's a lot of communication for them. And they're taught by Rebecca Barnett, and she does a really good job, teaching, and, it's all repetitive. We learned the sounds, we're always going through that, and then we're getting into like the verbs and, tense and all that. But it's pretty good. Hopefully, these classes, I think we do 6 weeks, and then Becky, she takes a week off to plan for her next class, and then after that, it starts up again. So hopefully, I think the date we had was October 18th, is maybe when we can start providing classes for the public. But we'll release more information when the dates get closer to that, how we can get that set up, how we're able to make sure everyone's able to access these classes.
Just to expand upon that one is we do have on our YouTube channel a playlist of all those classes. So if anyone wants to go check them out and follow along, and it's publicly available there as well, and participation can come whenever you're, have your announcement for that. So, the resources are out there. I think whenever you guys started it, we wanted to make it available and make it a good resource, and if nothing else, a good archive.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how my mind works, is what can I archive for the future? I'm kind of have the stamp, the time stamp in news and all that. So, but if anyone out here listening wants to go check out our YouTube, go check out our YouTube, and we have the last 6-week class that they put on there. So, but go ahead. I see you have a list.
Let's see. I was supposed to talk about, there was a survey that the Mvskoke Nation, they recently released. It's available on the Mvskoke Nation website, and I strongly encourage individuals to take the time and fill this survey out. This survey was created to collect data from citizens to determine specific areas of needs in preserving the Mvskoke language. With this information that you guys provide, it's going to be used for select focus groups or committees. This data is going to be kept confidential in a secure filing system where a certain amount of people, I guess, they have authorized for it, the ones that need it, I guess. And then it's just basically demographics, how much are your fluency in the language, your attitudes toward the language, community involvement, and your experience serving on communities. So go check that out. It's active until September 10th.
Oh, so this Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday.
This
Awesome.
Friday.
Okay. Yeah, I think I took it. I think it came through our emails, and I participated in it. I'm always love a good survey, and especially language. And we have so many things come up, even with the election. I think one of the candidates talks about immersion schools and just trying to really get the language back into our nation, because it seems to have, slowly but surely watered down into where we're having to turn back around and get it back. And so, we don't like to say a dying language or anything, because I think that the Muskogee language has people that are very passionate about keeping it and using it, and I don't think that it's going away anytime soon. And I think that the more people embrace that, the more it'll start to come back around. And I mean, we're young, we're young women here, and so we're going to be trying to carry that on as well. So we continue. Continue on and pass down what we can. Yeah. So besides the survey, what else is the
well, our program, we've applied for 2 grants. One is an A&A grant that, if we receive, the funds will be put towards 2 language instructors and a project coordinator. And these language instructors will teach 1 hour a day for 5 days a week. And the goal is to put these instructors into 3 schools. And the other grant that we have applied for is a ARPA grant. And we just found out this morning that we did get this grant. And what this grant will be used for is it's going to be for elder engagement projects. So, I'm ready to see what we can do with that, working. And I guess it's going to be like with story time. I know in the past we've recorded some elders just, talking about their lives. And, those are good to hear, because that's, what we need to preserve.
Right. We actually just sat down with an elder and had a conversation with them. We do this series here and there of elder conversations, and we kind of set back on it for a while because of the pandemic and not wanting to risk their health. And but we got back into it, and we did one recently, and that was an interesting one because they are like English is their second language. So they're coming from a place where they had to learn English, and one of the things that was said was what they would do is they would translate a lot of what was being told to them in English to the Muskogee language, just out of, I guess, sometimes like spite, spite of like, you're not going to take this away from me kind of thing. So I think that's great to have those conversations with elders and to, hold on to those stories.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So besides the grants, what else do you have?
Well, we've been working on our 2022 calendar. Each year our program, we release a calendar, and we've had, I think we've done one with clans. We did one with traditional foods. But this year, we decided to do Muskogee artists, and this is artists like beadwork, painting, ribbon skirts, can making, ball stick making, and yarn belts. But also with this, we decided to feature some of our ceremonial gowns. So hopefully we can get these calendars done by December. But, these calendars, we do them in office. So we do all the printing, we do the hole punching, inserting the combs, it's all the staff. We work together to get these calendars out, and then we mail them. So
how many calendars do you do?
I think for this year we're gonna try to do 3,000.
Oh wow!
I think so. Yeah, each of those calendars is, it's made with our own hands.
Yeah, that is a craft in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have the traditional foods one in my house. I like it. I like it, and I like looking at the foods, and I don't know. It just is kind of a keepsake at this point. My mom gave it to me because I had started taking lessons, and she said, I have all these resources, and just kind of dumped it on me. But that was one of the calendars. I enjoy those calendars a lot. I think
we
great.
get a lot of good compliments on them. But, we are starting to take requests on them. So, if you like to request a calendar, you'll contact Coco Lowe. She's the one that's going to be in charge of keeping the names, making sure everything's mailed out. But yeah, you can reach Coco. Her number is 539-286-3995. Just reach out, text her your name, our address, and you can get up to 5 calendars. Just text her that information and she'll get you down on the list.
Awesome. Yeah, get yourself a calendar. And you said it is Mvskoke Artists?
Yeah, Mvskoke Artists and Ceremonial Grounds.
Okay, so it's going to be like a blend. I always wanted to highlight the artists in our nation, our citizenry, because we have a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and talented, very talented artists as well. So, did you have anything else on your list you'd like to share?
I want to talk about our immersion camp. Our program, they hold an annual immersion camp. This camp is for 7th through 12th graders, and it's a week-long event. This camp is designed to teach church and ceremonial ground etiquette, along with providing language classes throughout the day. Each year, we bring in one church and one ceremonial ground to give demonstration. We bring in a motivational speaker. They provide insight to the students. But the students, they also get to learn from Mvskoke artists as well. We've had, this past summer, we had basket weaving with Vicky Tate, and, they really enjoyed that. And I think in previous years, they've done beadwork. But we usually start accepting these applications in April or May, around that time. But we usually post them onto our webpage. Or the Facebook page as well when the dates get closer.
Yeah, I think I've been there because you guys usually go to, is it Sequoia State?
The Sequoia Lodge.
Yeah, I like that place.
I do too. Yeah. It was my first time going to camp this year, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it seems like I feel like I missed out on that as a kid.
I know, me too.
Oh man. Okay. Well, if is that all your list and everything? And we can talk about language. We can talk about just how you feel about language preservation and what your role and our role and what everyone's role should be, or what we can do to pass it on.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just, I really because I get the opportunity to go and, teach the Head Start kids as well. And, I really like enjoying, seeing them, learn them words. They pick them up fast. But I think, it's really important that you do learn your language, because that's what's going to be your identity. And, doesn't that seem like cool for you to be able to say you can speak the Mvskoke language? And I don't know, it's just, I wish more people would, get involved with it. They, it just seems important to me, and they should be important as well, being a Mvskoke citizen.
Right. I had this thought. I get a lot of thoughts on my drive to work because I come from, I have like a 30-minute drive. And so I thought, I grew up Creek.
Yeah.
But then my identity kind of shifted as I learned more. I've grown up in the Mulgi Morris area all my life, and I had always thought Creek.
Yeah.
And then as I've grown in my identity, I've become Mvskoke.
Yeah.
And it's just that shift. And the Mvskoke, not the MU. And so that identity is absolutely associated with the language, and it captures something that is important for our tribal nation.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have the language department, I think, has really done a good job in providing this resource and preserving this language and passing it on as well. So I think that it's amazing that we've come, from it kind of whenever everyone was talking about a dying language, or whenever they're saying it's disappearing, and instead of just allowing it to happen, they just push through and planting seeds.
Yeah.
You can talk about it like it's planting a garden. You're sowing, you're trying to tend to it. The immersion camps that you do are important because those kids come out with it and take that with them and want to. And I had a conversation the other day about learning. Sometimes the language can be somewhat discouraging, depending, because you can learn and you can repeat and you can have those classroom settings. So whenever you go out and have a conversation, that's a whole different, that's intimidating. That is intimidating. So I guess that, what would you suggest, or what do you feel about that, taking it out of the classroom setting and then putting it, how do you put it into practice?
I know, like with me, some stuff that we learn in Mahaya Becky's class, I'll take it back and, I'll talk to my mom about it because she's the one, she knows the language. And my goal one day is to be able to sit down and just communicate with her. That's kind of where I want to be. But I do understand, when people, they do get discouraged because, sometimes I feel that way and, but we thought, you got to start somewhere. And it's like, it takes time, everything, you got to work at it. But I think, we do provide a lot of resources for people. And I think, as long as, you're saying it, if you, say your animals or your numbers, you're still saying something, you're still learning. But I think that's important, just those little words, that makes a huge difference. The fact that, like if you say cat, English is cat, but, if you say boozy, that's a word, that's what, means a lot.
Right. And I think learning nouns, you can kind of play around, with what the sentence structure, and once you kind of like get that, you can kind of get a grasp on it. I don't think that, I think that in practice when you're learning it, learning language, understanding the structure, for me, and this is just a personal, I guess, experience, for me, whenever I'm learning a structure of a language, I can kind of understand it. And it's not hard in that way. I don't find it too challenging to understand the structure of something and then taking a noun and using that same structure. It's taking that and turning it around and, like, what if you don't have someone that speaks the language? Where do you take that with you? I lived in Texas for a little bit, and whenever I came back, I was like, I'm going to start like a speaking circle or something where I'm just going to go sit with someone and like, we're going to get around, we're just going to talk. But I thought about that and I was like, well, what if we don't know what we're talking about? How does that help? You have to have at least one language speaker to like have those kind of, I think that we'll just have to maybe one day, those are those campfire times, those times you sit around and you just talk and appreciate, the people that have that knowledge. So I think that, I don't know what someone would do. I kind of struggle with that because my mom can kind of, she's learned too. And my great grandparents were full-blood fluent, and they didn't pass it on. So it was kind of, we sing in the language my great aunts can sing in it. We understand some parts of it, but as far as fluency goes, it's not there anymore. And so I'm just trying to reclaim it back for our family. I think this is trying to, and trying to pass it on to my children. Sometimes my son, he told me the other day, I was telling him, talking to him, and like in Mvskoke, and showing him the stuff, and he's like, just don't even talk Greek to me right now. And I was like, hey, now, like, I'm trying to teach you, son. You'll appreciate this. Because, I think that one thing, besides being able to say those things under your breath sometimes, a lot of people, we can have, me and my mom could kind of have not conversation, but talk in public about things that no one's gonna, no one's gonna hear, understand you. And I used to kind of get embarrassed, like my son too, because she would say a word and saying that she had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, Mom, no, people are gonna hear you. And then I didn't even think that, but no, these white people around here aren't gonna know what we're talking about. So as we're wrapping up, let's talk about something more current. Do you watch Reservation Dogs?
I've seen a few episodes.
Yeah, they incorporate language in there. And one thing that Sterling Harjo said that he's like, I don't need to explain it. He doesn't feel the need to have to translate and, explain those words. He just puts them in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And, I was wondering about with our writing, should we start just incorporating those words without translation for our citizens? Because we've talked about Cherokee Phoenix, they do a translation of their newspaper in the Cherokee language, but Cherokee language is a completely different language, and they're quote unquote standardized, so we have dialects and regions, and that was kind of the thing of like taking the language and going to speak with someone. They might not, describe. It's a descriptive language, right?
Yeah.
So what you would describe and what I would describe might be different. So it's not like a set, let me describe this thing, this is the word for it. So, sorry, I just kind of went on this entire tangent. But is there anything that you want to kind of like end on, in talking about language or anything that's going on?
I think I would just say that, if you are interested and you want to learn the language, we are a resource program. This means we can provide any person with information regarding the language. And we do have a resource packet that is available to anyone that's interested. This packet, it contains how to get the language app, the Mvskoke alphabet, 2 to 3 letter sounds, months, days of the week, numbers, animals. It's got everything in there. We do have that. We have a CD, DVD, thumb drive of the New Testament that's available if anyone's interested. We have a collection of Mvskoke hymns, DVD of our Head Start PowerPoint 250 word list. We have all these resources available, but if you're interested in these, you can call our office. Our number is 918-732-7649, and we'll be happy to provide you with these resources.
Awesome. Yeah, you have it all. I think that everyone should take advantage of that. Go check it out. And
Definitely.
Can you say that one more time of how they can get that?
Okay, please contact our office at 918-732-7649.
Okay, all right. Well, Jordan, I want to thank you for joining us today and talking language, and because how do you say language? Openaga. Yeah, because I have the visor, and I always am like, again, I have that hesitancy to want to say it out loud because I'm like, what if I say it wrong?
That's I know what you mean.
Yeah. All right. So right now we are going to take a quick break, and we're going to get native chef Jason Champagne on the line to talk about food.
I started doing it when I was 11. I wanted to be just like my big brother. And some of my friends were already doing it. We got hooked fast. I just can't get enough. I'm Jacob, and I'm addicted to playing the drums.
There's lots of stuff that makes it cool to be Native. Doing meth isn't one of them. Find something better to do. Check out ncai.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
Hear that? That's the sound of Hope being killed by meth. Methamphetamine use is causing huge problems in our community. Hear that? That's the sound of something you can do about it. Events like rodeo, res ball, and family time can help keep kids away from meth.
Talk to your kids. Keep our culture alive. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
Learn more at ncai.org.
Who am I? Am I Native? I don't want people assuming things because I'm Indian. I just want to be me. But how do I live in two worlds? Some guys just check out by doing meth. But that ain't for me. Because I see my family, my friends, my drum making, my future. There are a lot of cool things about being who I am. And meth isn't one of them.
Learn more at ncai.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians. Who am I? Am I Indian? Just 'cause I'm a girl from the res, don't make things up about me. What if I move away? Then who am I? Some kids try meth just to escape, but then I think about my grandma, my little brother, my beadwork, my poetry, and I think, I like who I am, and I know meth is not for me.
Check out ncai.org, a message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
I started doing it when I was 11. I wanted to be just like my big brother. And some of my friends were already doing it. We got hooked fast. I just can't get enough. I'm Jacob, and I'm addicted to playing the drums.
There's lots of stuff that makes it cool to be Native. Doing meth isn't one of them. Find something better to do. Check out ncai.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
Hear that? That's the sound of Hope being killed by meth. Methamphetamine use is causing huge problems in our community. Hear that? That's the sound of something you can do about it. Events like rodeo, res ball, and family time can help keep kids away from meth.
Talk to your kids. Keep our culture alive. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
Learn more at ncai.org.
If you could, just quickly introduce yourself real quick to our audience.
My name is Jason Champagne. I'm a member of the Red Leg Band of Chippewa, and originally from Baldwin, Kansas. I live in Eudora, Kansas, and I'm chef owner of Native Chef LLC.
Awesome. So we actually got your contact from Dwayne Meadows from the diabetes program. Would you like to talk about a little bit of that relationship?
Oh yeah, I met Dwayne 2 years ago and started working with the Mvskoke Nation of Oklahoma about 3 years ago, and it's just been a tremendous relationship. And just so thankful to have met them and their community, and they just do amazing work with diabetes prevention and health and awareness, and it's been a good working relationship, and they're doing great things there.
Awesome. I think we had a video. I didn't know if you participated. We've been doing videos for them for their diabetes, because I think they're doing a virtual this time around. What were you doing with them?
So I did a virtual a cooking video online that was recorded there at their wellness center, and it's just a diabetes-friendly meal. It's I eat it a lot for breakfast. It's just using whole foods in a saute, like whole vegetables, and eating the eggs for the protein, and then having like some fresh orange juice and kiwi fruit on the side to kind of add flavor to the vegetables because there wasn't any salt or pepper. So it was just an online cooking that they recorded and edited, and that's also what I do. I do for my business now since COVID happened. I'm pretty much probably 90% online now doing cooking videos.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So let's talk about health and nutrition then with your food and your cooking. I know everyone loves greasy fry bread, but let's talk about what can we do though to make better choices as Native Americans wanting to maintain our health and just stay good, keep our bodies and treat our bodies right with food.
Well, in my personal experience, I have diabetes, but I'm able to manage it with steady exercise and diet. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I wish I could say I wasn't diabetic. I don't take pills, but my medicine is getting up early in the morning and going for a workout and trying to eat, spread out. Like if I'm going to eat bread, I try to spread out through the rest of the day. But mainly, to realize that it's difficult, but it's doable, and to have a purpose behind why you're doing it. If you're younger, you might have, relatives who have diabetes or maybe have passed away from diabetes complications. Or if you're older, maybe you have like grandkids or kids or grandkids that you want to be around to see, and that should be a motivating factor to, really look at your intake of food, and if you're not able to control it without medicine, then start making small changes. It's hard to just overhaul your diet because it doesn't last. What I promote is making small steps, taking a couple of days out of the week to maybe cook the vegetable and egg dish that I did for that online presentation. Fry bread, I eat fry bread too, but it's very minimal. It's probably once every 2 months. My mom makes like the best fry bread in the world here in Kansas, and I do look forward to it, but it's not a weekly thing. So, I don't think we're ever going to take away fry bread. I don't think people want to take away fry bread. But understand that you can maybe put a date on the calendar and have it once every 3 weeks or maybe once a month. That way they look forward to it, they enjoy it, then they can have something else to look forward to. And just being a positive influence on the youth, promoting, salads before dinners and all that stuff, and learning to use a knife and learning to use whole foods, and just being excited about cooking and about improving our health with food as well as exercise.
Right. Yeah. So what are some of the issues that you see whenever you're addressing, we can talk about food security, we can talk about food availability, and in our population that tends to suffer from poverty. What are some of the things that you see, and what are some of the things that you suggest in someone that is trying to or wanting to develop better eating habits?
Well, the commodities that Native Americans get, probably it starts with, if you're limited on money and you do get those commodities, making those choices for the whole grains that they offer and the fresh fruits that they offer, and understanding portion sizes. So there's, like elbow macaroni or some type of starch like that. Just getting educated on what a proper portion is, like let's say for a normal person, and then a proper person, for a diabetic, it's totally, it's a little bit less with the diabetic. So just understanding that, maybe you might be limited on the money, but if you have those staples, try to educate yourself on what is a healthy portion. And if you do to get some fresh, vegetables, things like, dicing up some zucchini or maybe some squash and maybe an onion and adding that to the elbow macaroni with like a vinaigrette or like a salad dressing. I'm sure people have salad dressings in their fridge. Increasing the amount of that macaroni, the correct amount of macaroni, but then increasing it with some healthier options that add color, add flavor, and getting something to eat, but understanding how much we need to have, and just kind of like not shooting our glucose up with a whole bunch of a starch like that, and just understanding to separate to get your carbs throughout the day balanced, so that we're not spiking our glucose and then waiting for it to come down. We're making choices, eating maybe a little bit more than normal, but we're eating consistently small portions throughout the day where we're not spiking our glucose and we're managing consistent levels.
Yeah, and that kind of goes. I watch a lot of TikTok, so one of the TikToks that came up was talking about just the 3 meals thing. The 3 meals a day doesn't have to be that way. You can just eat whenever you're hungry. It doesn't have to be a huge meal. It just is listening to your body and eating then. And I think that sometimes the smaller portions can kind of regulate us throughout the day. I have terrible eating habits sometimes because I forget to eat, and I forget to, and I'm just going to grab, something really, a bunch of carbs, and I'm just going to load up, and then that's going to carry me out for the rest of the day. So in my, I have family that deals with diabetes, and they're always on me about carb intake and sugar intake, and I don't take sugar in my coffee anymore, but I take Splenda, which probably isn't that good to do. I don't know. What's your opinion on those sweeteners?
Well, I use Truvia. It's made from a stevia leaf. I try to use that in a lot of my dishes that I do for my videos. I try to substitute that for sugar, and yeah, it is tough. Sometimes being diabetic. I mean, sometimes I think I'm afraid to shoot up my glucose, right? So I'll purposely not eat. I used to do this too much, but the amount of workout that I do in the morning, which is probably about an hour and a half of intense weightlifting, full body training. I don't eat enough throughout the day, and I get really tired. But then again, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, my glucose, I just checked it. It's at 110, and that's where I want to keep it, so I won't eat. But then I won't have any energy even. So what I figured out was, maybe having a granola bar for lunch or for a snack, or having granola bars in the vehicle, like if you're traveling. A lot of people, if you're traveling from home or something, or you're going somewhere and you're hungry, a lot of people will, go through the dollar menu at Burger King or McDonald's for that quick something to eat. It's important to have stuff like that where when you do get hungry, you have a healthy option to eat. And just understanding that don't be afraid to eat. I mean, it sounds really crazy, but I went through that for a long time where my glucose is where I wanted it to be, and I didn't want to eat because I didn't want to bring it up any. But we got to realize that we use food for energy as well. So if we can maintain those small eating habits throughout the day, just, maybe a banana for a snack or something, just, eating a healthy, well-balanced breakfast, and then maybe a small lunch, and having a few snacks here and there, not the bad snacks, but having an apple or an orange or a banana or a granola bar or something to get you by until dinner. That way you're not so hungry at dinner where you kept your glucose normal all day and now you're just going to feast, right? Because your body's just craving that food. And then we tend to overeat in the evening, and then we don't get we're normally sitting around in the evening, right? We're not walking around, we're not doing our normal day thing, so our glucose won't come down as quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the breakfast. I sometimes will do a big breakfast to hold me over for the rest of the day, because it just is as energy, just as energy. It's like eggs. I protein up and then I take off. I'm like, okay, we're gonna just eat a bunch of protein and take off. And but you mentioned a lot of fruits and vegetables, and I know a lot of people they may not even I guess they don't eat a vegetable. I don't think they've ever ate a vegetable. I had a friend that before we were friends, they've never ate a salad before, and they were in their 20s. So what do you think about people changing their mindset, and how can they push through to try these vegetables or these fruits that they don't really, they say that they don't like or they don't care for?
Well, I tie that to like my workout. So I listen to a lot. I'm a motivational speaker, but I listen to a lot of motivational videos online. And probably about 3 to 4 hours, is a good day where I listen to that much. One of the things is that there are people that have to feel like to doing it before they do it, and then there's people who have to do it so that they feel like it. Well, if you waited to go work out, if you waited to see how you feel in the morning, like I'm going to go work out in the morning if I feel like it, you're not going to go. But if you get up with the mindset of I'm going to go work out so that I feel like it, it's total opposite. So when you get to the weight room and you start working out and you start feeling good and you're like, I can't believe it crossed my mind to not work out. It's the same thing with these vegetables and like this vegetable breakfast dish that I eat, is that it's hard to, because I enjoy egg sandwiches with potatoes and bread and a breakfast meat, but I know that's what my mind wants. But my body, I know my body after these workouts needs the whole bell pepper, the zucchini, the kale, the garlic, the turmeric, the orange, the kiwi. I know it needs that. So once I make myself cook it and start eating it, then I feel good about it, right? I feel like, wow, my body, I feel good right now because I'm doing it. But it was that mental aspect of getting over that hurdle of making myself do that. So, that's part of it, is just, creating that person that, has to do it so that they feel like it, instead of I'll do it if I feel like it. And then having that purpose behind it. Why are we doing it? We may have, and all that, so there has to be something behind that,
You've been listening to Mvskoke Radio. Join us again next week for more local, tribal, and community news and updates. Mado.